Okay. Welcome on to the Black Column Podcast. I'm your host, Jabia, aka the Crew Philosopher. I have my co-host here, Shannon.
Thank you.
Thank
you so much. Thank you. I was waiting to see.
After you grilled me last week.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
How you doing, Shannon?
I'm fine. I'm fine. I'm going a little crazy, but it's okay. What about you?
I was very heated. You know this. So, you know what? I'm gonna talk about it.
What were you heated about?
So, I put the clips up from the show on my Instagram.
Are we really talking?
My Instagram. I just gotta say, I put it on my Instagram. And a couple of classmates of mine who went to school with me and Shannon, by the way, they were commenting under the videos, talking about how cute Shannon is, and oh, look at Shannon. And I'm gonna say, I don't think Shannon is that much. I don't think Shannon is that much more prettier than I am handsome. I don't.
Okay, but why would people go under the post to say how handsome you are? It's your Instagram page. People see you all the time.
Yeah, but these are our friends. So, I mean, I'm assuming they have you on Instagram.
Yeah, but
so they see you just as much as they see me.
Not really.
I'm just saying, I was very triggered, so much so that I asked at least 3 people.
You asked more than what? You asked somebody else other than me? What did they say?
I asked you. I asked Chelsea, my feminist friend. I think one more person, but I'm forgetting right now. But definitely you and Chelsea. Chelsea said that she thinks that she always thought that you were really pretty. So I was upset.
I don't understand how this could be a comparison, Jabia.
No, I'm just saying, no one's gonna comment under the video saying, "Oh my God, Jabia,"
Okay, so I'm gonna post a video on my own page, and then maybe some of my friends who have never seen you will say that you're so handsome.
Fair enough.
How about that? Mm-hmm.
I think I was more triggered because these are our friends. We went to school with these people. It's not strangers. If a stranger don't call me handsome, I mean, it's a stranger. But somebody that went to school with us.
This is like a trivial argument, Jabia.
You
sound like such a hater right now. I don't understand. I don't understand.
She called me a hater. Fair enough. No more hating for me. But other than that, I've been good. Other than that triggered me for 2 to 3 days. I'm doing very well.
2 to 3 days that triggered you for?
I mean, I think the first time I put a video up was Tuesday, so it bothered me up until right now. I know I sound like an awful man, but Shannon, I can't lie to you, it did bother me a little bit. But look, bygones are bygones. And look, I'm not saying you're not pretty. I call you pretty all the time. I just don't think you are that much prettier than I am handsome.
But people don't always have to compliment you on your handsomeness. This is female empowerment, so it's fine. There's nothing that you should be hating on.
Okay. Right. So another Friday, another show packed with news. So me and Shannon decided that we were going to talk about 5 to 6 things today, right? We're going to try to make this a more concise podcast than the last one was. So we're shooting for an hour, right? We are shooting for an hour.
Let's see if it happens.
Yes. We're going to see what happens here. And look, I think this is our second news show. So bear with us as we twinkle with time and things like that. So where to start, Shannon? We are starting with the coronavirus.
News.
Yeah, so the COVID news keeps changing. And recently,
every day.
All the time. And recently, some information was released, where public health experts were explaining why they were against shutdowns. Right now, Trump has been saying that to open up the country for some weeks now, and Democrats have lost their minds about it, saying, "Oh my God, he doesn't care about people." He is going against his scientific community. He's going against healthcare professionals. So when this information came out, Shannon, I was actually quite surprised that you now have public health experts saying that lockdowns are actually, to a certain degree, counterproductive.
Yes. So I do agree that. So what they're saying is that a second wave of lockdowns is productive, and
True.
I agree with that. I think that shutting down the country again will not be as successful just because we already went through it once and we came out of it kind of, and people are not going to be receptive to the thought of having to do it again. Even though I think that it'd be better, a second lockdown in the winter would actually not be as bad because people don't want to go outside anyway. But
that's an interesting point.
I kind of agree with that. Now, I don't think that that's the same thing as saying that the country should be open. Like, but I don't think that we need to lock down completely. I just think that we need to be more careful in day-to-day life. Like, things don't need to be opening up to 75% capacity and like all this other stuff. I think we should keep it restricted, but it doesn't need to be completely shut down like how it was back in March.
Okay, so here's the thing. So basically, just for our audience, the World Health Organization were the ones saying that lockdowns might not necessarily be the answer. And basically, what people have to understand, lockdowns come with economic costs, right? So when you lock down a state, a city, a country, when you lock down, there are economic hardships that also cause issues that might be more detrimental to a community than the actual coronavirus. So the World Health Organization was coming from that perspective. Now, another point Shannon made earlier, lockdowns are useful when you need to gather yourself, right? That's what I read in the article. Meaning that if you're going to lock down, the main purpose of a lockdown is you have an incoming virus that you don't know how to deal with. You don't know how you want to execute a plan. And so what do? You lock down. Number one, this helps prevent the overrun of your health system. Number two, it gives you time to plan, right? Number three, it is the most effective solution in that exact moment to keeping people safe because you don't have any other plans laid out yet. And so lockdowns are never meant to be a long-term, solution to this problem. They're supposed to be used for a specific function. We didn't use them in some places the way they were intended to be used, right? So, for example, in New York City, when we locked down, I think it was late March, early April, something like that, around that time, when New York City locked down. Basically, we lock people down. We have the essential businesses open so you can go and shop and buy your, things that you need. This kept people from interacting with each other, people from moving around like they were earlier in earlier times. This helped keep the COVID deaths from rising to as high as what was predicted. Remember, Trump sent over that ship for us to use because it was estimated that we were going to get hit bad with the number of beds we would need and the ventilators that we were going to need. And luckily for us, we actually didn't use the ship that much, or the makeshift hospital that they built in Central Park.
Oh, I forgot about that hospital. Yeah.
So we didn't really need, and I think was it the Jacoby Center or something else. Am I mixing that up?
Oh yeah, the Javits Center.
Javits Center, thank you, Shannon. Javits
I'm like,
Center,
what are you talking about?
Jacoby Center. So the Javits Center. We built a bunch of these makeshift hospitals because we thought we were going to get overrun with people needing serious medical attention. Luckily for us, that didn't happen, right? But the lockdown gave us time to strategize, keep people in place while you get a game plan. Other states didn't do that.
Nope.
They just locked
Florida
down.
didn't do it, that's for sure.
I don't think Florida ever locked down.
They didn't.
They closed like businesses, but they never locked down as far as don't leave your house for a bunch of Republican states didn't lock down because they didn't believe in it. But here's the thing. I disagree with them for not locking down, but at the same time, I do think Democrats are dismissing how much lockdowns hurt people. Now, they could be doing this on purpose because they see that a bad economy hurts Trump, and so they don't care that people are struggling. They just want to get Trump out, and maybe they'll change their tune post-election. We don't put it past them. They're politicians, like Republicans are politicians. But I just think the public needs to know that, the health officials are no longer promoting lockdowns.
Yeah.
They're promoting opening up as much as you can safely. So having people wear masks all the time, especially when they're indoors. right? Limiting capacity where applicable, right? So don't have people jam packed into bars. Don't have people jam packed into restaurants. No, you want there to be more space, less people, so that less people get sick. You don't want any clusters, right? So basically, be smart, follow the science, but also be smart and try as much as possible to create an environment where people can go out there and work and create a living and get out the house. Because that comes with depression and anxiety. And I don't know if
Yeah.
you've been looking at the reports about. I think it's like a quarter of Americans contemplated suicide during these lockdowns. It was really bad.
It was bad. It was. And a second lockdown is certainly not the answer at all. But I mean, I don't really know, because I don't know what's gonna happen if hopefully cases don't go up to a point where it's gonna get out of control again. But
cases are going to go up. But the interesting thing is, if you
but I mean to a point where it'll be bad, it's gonna weigh on the hospital system and stuff like that.
Well, here's the thing: flu season is coming, and we're going to have coronavirus around. Something to watch though is, in theory, the steps that we take to curb the coronavirus should keep the flu cases down as well, right?
Technically speaking, yes. Also, you should get your flu shot. Just saying.
Look, man, I have not gotten the flu in years. In years.
I know. I'm just saying. So if you're normally, if you normally don't partake in the flu shot, sure, fine, whatever. I've gotten a flu shot every year since I was born, whatever. But I'm not telling you what to do. But I'm just saying this year, I feel like it is particularly important to get a flu shot because of the coronavirus. So I'm just saying.
No, she's right. Yeah. Number one, when you get a flu shot, it helps prevent you from catching the flu. But even if you get the flu, it lessens the severity of the flu, whether it's how sick you get or the duration you are sick. So those are the upsides. I don't have any logical reason why I don't get the flu shot. I just don't. I don't have any excuse. I'm not an anti-vaxxer. I'm not an anti-vax. I'm not one of those people. I'm not anti-vaccine. Yes. I believe in vaccines. I believe in science. I believe in medicine. For some reason, I just refuse to get the flu shot. I don't have no excuse. There's no excuse for my behavior. Don't be like me. Be like Shannon.
You're not gonna get it? Wait, what? What?
I said, don't be like me. Be like you.
Oh, okay, good. So you're not gonna get the flu shot this year either?
No, absolutely not.
Okay, well, I don't think that you should listen to Jabia. I think you should get a flu shot this year.
I agree with
Shannon.
Shannon.
If you don't normally get it, I just feel like this is an important year to get it.
Totally agree with Shannon.
Don't be like Jabia then.
Don't be like me. Don't be like Shannon. Now, for those of you, for the small minority of you, you know who you are. That is going to have adverse effects of this thing. Then blame Shannon. Don't blame me.
Put an effect on your voice?
Yes, I did. Sorry.
Oh, I'm like, what is that?
Shannon was looking around like. You thought that was God, Shannon? You thought you heard God? Thought you heard the Almighty?
I was making sure nothing was wrong with your mic. I'm like, what? I'm like, what is happening? Okay.
Yeah, but if you have an adverse effect,
you're not being a good role model, Jabia, to the people that are listening to you.
I totally agree. I'm just saying, if you have adverse effects from because look, 0.0001% of people are, they're going to have some type of adverse reaction to the vaccine. For those of you that are in that bucket, the hell?
What happened?
Nothing. For those of you who do have adverse effects, blame Shannon. Now, quickly before we leave off the topic of masks, there's a report, and I need to set the facts straight. There's a report going around that the CDC. Okay, so just let me lay this out. There was a study that was done by the CDC regarding individuals that were recently admitted to the hospital. I believe the sample size was around 150 individuals, and basically it came out that 70% of the people that came down with the coronavirus were habitual mask wearers.
70% of people that came down with the
coronavirus. So meaning mask wearers. Yes. So basically, out of go ahead.
Well, I'm gonna say wearing a mask doesn't protect you from catching the coronavirus. Wearing a mask helps others not catch the coronavirus from you.
That is a semi-true statement. Let me explain. So there has been some evidence to come out recently that suggests that mask wearing does provide some protection for the wearer. Though Shannon is right that the overall function, it is most effective at protecting people from you. So if you get outside of wearing an N95, which I have, by the way, but the reason why they want us all to wear masks is if we are all protecting somebody else from us, then you create like universal mask wearing, so everyone has protection. But I want to clarify this misinformation. So Fox News, Tucker Carlson, he did a segment on this story that I don't know if he was purposely being misleading or if he here's the thing, the CDC has to own some of this. Their messaging sometimes is just really confusing. Like, do you remember Shannon, where like they came out and said that originally, they said that asymptomatic people were responsible for 50 to 60% of the spread, and then a couple of months later they changed their site to say that asymptomatic people were not a source of the main spread, and then a week later they corrected it. They have been awful in their messaging, and it's confusing people. And so I can't tell if Tucker is just confused or purposely being misleading. But I want to correct this for the people watching this show or listening. That report did not suggest that masks were not effective. If you read deeper into the study, Shannon, like I did, yes, 70% of the people that were sick were habitual mask wearer, but they looked into all of their behaviors, and what they found was that the people the people that were sick, even though they were habitual mask wearers, they were twice as likely to go inside of restaurants for indoor dining than the people who were not sick. And so the point of that study was the CDC, they wanted to inform the public that if you're a mask wearer but you're dining indoors, you cannot have your mask on for the entire time. It's impossible.
No.
I take Shannon to dinner. We sit down. We take down our mask. We're not just going to eat. We eat. We talk. We laugh. We talk more.
It's true.
We eat. It is not a safe thing to do. Now, restaurants are trying to limit capacity. They're trying to spread people out. But the point of that CDC report was indoor dining is still a riskier activity than other activities. Why? Because dining indoors is different than indoor shopping. If I indoor shop, I can still keep my mask on the entire time.
Yep.
You can't do that indoors. You're constantly putting it down, putting it up. Never mind your hands touching your mask, so you might have some corona on your mask. You touch your mouth. Like it's just about when I leave my house, Shannon, my mask stays on my face until I'm back in the house. I'm not really out there, doing this all day. I'm not going to do that. I keep my mask on until I'm back in the house. Then I'll take my mask off. That's how I operate. And so the proper takeaway from that CDC study is be very, very careful about indoor dining because everyone indoors is not keeping their mask on for a long period of time. Remember, viral load is how you catch this thing. It is how much particles you are exposed to and how long you are exposed to those particles. The higher your viral load, the more likely you are to come down with COVID-19.
Yep, it's true.
So I just wanted to throw that out there and clarify this before you run into this study or this report in these articles coming out saying that, oh my God, 70% of people that got sick were wearing masks. Masks don't work. That is not what the article was trying to convey. The CDC has to get it together. Though. They have to get it together.
They do. They've been releasing a lot of. They've been going back in their statements quite a bit, and that's why.
Like, what are y'all doing?
I don't know. They're making themselves look bad.
Really. Yes, wear a mask. Also, one last thing before we leave: wearing a mask is not a substitute for socially distancing.
It's not. It's not. Please don't come near me. Don't come closer to me just because you have a mask on. I still don't want you near me.
Yes, don't stop going over to people's houses. Like, wearing a mask is a tool, right? So we are all trying to play percentages here, Shannon.
Mm-hmm.
Right? What you want to do is you want to decrease the likelihood that you catch the coronavirus, and so you take a multitude of steps that drastically reduce the chance that you catch this thing. Mask wearing is one step. Socially distancing is another step. If you're going to be indoors, only being indoor places that are ventilated is a third step. Pixie glasses are another step.
Mm-hmm.
But if you use pixie glass, that doesn't mean you don't wear a mask. You wear the mask and you use the pixie glass.
Yes.
Once again, I don't think the CDC has done a good job. I don't think they've done a good job telling the public you have to do all of these things together. it's not if you wear a mask, then you can have a conversation standing right in front of me like we used to. No, still be away
over there.
Yes,
Not
let's
close
have
to me.
let's have the conversation outdoors in front of my house, in front of the stoop. Be smart, people. That's all I want to say. Just be smarter. Be smarter.
Yeah, but a lot of people, unfortunately, are choosing their social lives over common sense. So, and like, I understand people want to get back to normal, but we're not in normal times right now. So
here's the thing about getting back to your normal life.
Like,
here's the thing.
What?
I say, here's the thing about getting back to your normal life. I appreciate the effort of trying to get back to your normal life, but you have to remember you can't get back to normal, right?
Yeah.
There is no going back to normal. You cannot go out to the movies with your friends. You'd be an idiot to go indoors at a restaurant with your friends. I know a lot of y'all out there still being hoes. Look, man, it is way riskier. I'm telling y'all right now, it is way riskier to be hoeing in the pandemic than it was pre-pandemic.
Mm-hmm.
Like getting y'all to use condoms is hard. So I know for a fact that y'all out there with no mask. So I'm just saying, you can't go back to normal. We all have to get sit tight until the end of 2021.
Yep.
So that's
a
that.
Long road. It's a long road.
Yes.
What do you think? Sorry, this is very off topic and we don't have to spend a lot of time on this, but what kind of businesses do you think are still going to be around when we're actually back to like as close to normal as possible?
Here's the thing. I know for a fact that anything female beauty related is going to be around because women are still going through those things even now. Like they need to look good so much that they're willing to risk catching the coronavirus. So
I'm guilty of doing that.
I know all of you are. So beauty salons will be around.
Yes.
Barbershops will be around.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, grocery stores, etc.
Yep.
Now, I do think it's a wrap for GameStop.
Well, it was going to be a wrap for GameStop anyway, regardless. GameStop was always going to go out of business.
I agree, but I do think the pandemic is kind of, like this. GameStop was going to go out of business 10 years from now. I think it's done next year.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree. And good riddance to GameStop because they are...
Totally agree.
GameStop is a scam. But what about clubs? And what about movie theaters?
Movie theaters are done. When this pandemic, for those of you that know, I used to work at a movie theater. When this pandemic started, my bosses instructed me that I could use sick days for compensation. But remember that these sick days will not be replenished once the pandemic was over. And so that night, I text messaged some of my coworkers and I told them, use every last hour because we're not coming back. Because I knew movie theaters were done, and they are done. Movie theaters,
kind of sad though.
People don't understand this, Shannon. Movie theaters are we operate at a loss between Monday and Friday. We lose money. Now we have to be open because some people aren't going to come in, but we lose money through the entire week, and we make it all back between Friday and Sunday because of packed shows. Now in a pandemic, you can't pack a movie theater out. So even if you were to open, if you can only operate at 50% capacity, game over.
Yeah.
So that's done. Clubs, here's the thing. Lust is a very strong. It is. It's a very strong thing. Like dudes want to be all up on women. women, men are whores, women are attention whores, right? So the club caters to both of those things.
Yes.
Let me ask you a question. Do you plan on not going to a club until you die?
Until I die?
Yeah.
No, of course not. But I'm not gonna go to a club anytime soon.
Well,
Like if a club opened tomorrow and someone was like, let's go to this club, am I going? Absolutely not.
No, but if a club opened up in August 2021, are you going?
Well, it depends on what the state of the world is in August 2021.
That's what I'm saying. So
Impossible
clubs,
to say.
So even if the clubs that exist now close down because they don't have the money.
Oh, there'll be more. Yes.
That's what I'm saying.
I understand that. Well, yeah, there'll be more. Yeah. But you don't think that like a replacement, you don't think that like a new movie theater chain will pop up if the world ever comes back to normal? Or you just think movies are done, like forever?
I think they're done forever because we don't need them. Like movie attendance was already declining outside of like select premieres. For example, this is gonna sound outrageous, but I think Marvel movies might have extended the life of movie theaters way beyond what they would have survived without them.
I can agree with that. I can.
Like Marvel single-handedly saved the movie chain and gave it like an extra 10 to 15 year run because people were coming out for those premieres. People aren't going to theaters for regular movies. Like, Shannon, when's the last time you went to the movie theater to watch like a romance movie? See what I'm saying? You watch them at home, I'm sure. You watch them at home. Yeah. You think about the man that you don't have. Like that's what that's what we do. But you're not going to go to a theater to see a romance movie. Those days are over. They were over for a while. The movie business was being sustained because of these blockbuster, super, Marvel stuff that people were going to see in droves. Those are kind of over, especially when you have these studios experimenting, releasing straight to platform services, which, by the way, I love.
So how do you think that movies are going to make money now? Like, how do you think that, like, people, like, how do you think that films are going to make money? You think that they're just going to go like a Mulan type thing where you're going to have to pay $20 for it and then you just watch it in your house?
That, or they're going to have these streaming platforms buy the film.
Yeah.
So you're going to have, look, you can make a low budget. So maybe the big studios don't do this like Marvel, right? So Marvel probably goes the Disney route, right? Charge $20, $30 for the movie release so people can watch it. But smaller budgeted films, like, I think didn't it cost like only like $2 to $8 million to make Get Out?
Is that how much it costs to make that movie? I have no clue.
In fact, let me go. I'm gonna fact check myself.
Yeah, fact check that. That sounds a little low.
Did it cost to make Get Out? So the production budget for Get Out was 4.5, and they made 176. You see what I'm saying? Now,
domestically, it made 255 worldwide.
But so that's my point. Get Out didn't look like a $4.5 million budget.
It didn't.
It was pretty good. So for films like that, Shannon, yes. Yeah. So for films like that, Shannon, you can reasonably expect, for them to be sold to like Netflix. You know how Netflix buys the movies for like, $20-30 million. You make a good profit. It goes straight to streaming. I think you're going to see that. You're going to see that a lot more. But movies, you're done.
I liked going to the movies.
No, you didn't.
Yes, I did. When I actually did go, I liked going.
How long ago was that, Shannon?
Let's see. I think the last I think the last movie I went to see was probably I went to go see My Hero Academia in the movie theaters. That was the last movie I saw.
Okay, last movie I saw was an anime movie as well. It was packed. I went to go see the Broly movie, Dragon Ball Super.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying? Like, you don't really go to.
Yeah, but the last real movie I saw before that was The Joker, probably last October. That was the last movie before that
okay. So you went for a specific film. You didn't go because you liked going to movie theaters.
No.
Yeah, that's my point.
Agree. Yeah, I know. I agree. Like, I understand the point you're trying to make. I get it. It's true.
You spent less money, especially the prices were getting super high, and so you were spending if you was taking out, if you was going to the movie theaters for a date, you had the budget for like $100.
Yeah, you did, for snacks and $15 tickets, $20 tickets. Movies have gotten
Yeah,
So expensive.
it's why teenagers don't go anymore. When I was working there, I rarely saw like some 16-year-old out with his 16-year-old date. I rarely saw that because teenagers got priced out of going to the movies.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's dead, Shannon.
I know. All right. I didn't want to spend too much time on it, but I was just curious to see what you thought. But yes.
Why were you curious about the clubs specifically?
Clubs and movie theaters.
But you
I just want to know because those are the two main things that I don't see coming back. I can't really think of anything else that I can't see coming back.
Okay, so we disagree on the club part. I can absolutely see clubs.
No, sorry. Not that I don't see coming back. That I see like right now them mostly closing.
Sorry, if you own a club, if you own a club, best thing you can do right now, sell the property, get whatever money you can, because you're gonna be so far in the hole by the time you can open back up that you're not gonna make any money for like the next 2-3 years.
Mm-hmm.
Sell your club.
That's mainly what I meant. I know that clubs are not gonna be gone, but like I just meant they're gonna be gone right now.
Yeah. Now that said, as soon as people can go back out, you're gonna make a killing if you own a club. People are gonna be so starved to just be around the people. You're gonna make a kid. Actually, I take back my advice. If you can hold on, all right. If you can hold on reasonably well until 2021, hold on, because you're gonna make a killing when clubs can open back up. Trust me, people are gonna be so starved for attention. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So, Facebook. This is what I've been preaching about for the last couple of years, Shannon. No one has been paying attention to me, and I've been saying that big tech is going to be the real enemy. I'm serious. I feel like I'm the guy in the movie theater that everyone is paying attention to this thing, but I see like the meteor coming down, and I'm screaming at people saying, "We got to do something. The meteor's coming," but no one's paying attention. Right. And so this story that I put in the chat with Shannon was basically Facebook had came out that they were going to ban anti-vaccination ads. They also came out saying that they were going to ban, what was it, Holocaust denial post.
Yeah, Holocaust denial post. Mm-hmm.
So those were the two things that came out about Facebook. And you got certain people, celebrating, saying, especially the Holocaust denial one, people saying about time that Facebook took a stand against, the spread of this disinformation. And I think this is an awful thing.
You think it's an awful thing that Facebook is trying to ban misinformation?
Yes. Here's why.
Okay.
Disinformation is not disinformation to everybody. So, for example.
Yes, but you can't. I understand that, but you can't. Denying the Holocaust is blatant misinformation.
Here's the thing, Shannon. Do I believe the Holocaust happened? Absolutely.
Oh, okay. I thought you were about to say
like that dramatic pause. Absolutely. Matter of fact, I was blessed with the opportunity to speak with a Holocaust, survival person in high school.
When?
This happened either 7th or 8th grade. The only reason I know for a fact that this happened is because I'm sorry, not 7th, 8th, 10th or 11th grade.
Okay.
Only reason I know this happened is because I asked Michael if this really happened or was it like my imagination, and Michael said, "No, that happened. I was there." So a Holocaust survivor came to our school to talk to us. It wasn't your class; it was us.
What class was that?
Miss Fragile.
Oh, wait. Okay, continue. I don't remember. Was I there? Are you sure? I'm
positive this happened. If you don't remember it, then you wasn't there.
I definitely was. I had her though. Never mind. Continue. I'm gonna let you just finish because I don't.
Yeah. So basically, this woman came and she spoke to us about the Holocaust. Now, I didn't need her there to verify the existence of the Holocaust. I'm not saying that, but I'm saying her being there I know beyond a shadow of a doubt that this actually happened, right? So I'm not saying that people should be comfortable with people denying the Holocaust. That's not where I'm coming from when I say that this is dangerous or that I don't like this. Disinformation in this case is obvious. The Holocaust absolutely happened. Anyone saying that it did not happen is lying to you. Another scenario, Shannon. The world is not flat.
Okay.
It's not flat. We know this. Now, here's the reason why disinformation gets to exist is because I can't prove any of these things. I can't prove that the Holocaust existed. I don't have any proof. I have history books. I have videos. I have images. But I can't prove it to you right now that this thing existed. I can't prove to you, Shannon, that the world is round. Mm-hmm. I can show you a globe. I can show you pictures from a satellite. But I can't prove beyond a shadow of a doubt that the world is round. But it is. It's not flat. And those are obvious scenarios of disinformation. But what happens, Shannon, when you deal with situations where the disinformation and the information is not easier to differentiate from? Shannon?
Hello? Yes.
Oh my God, what happened?
I don't know. You're you froze for a long time and then you just dropped out of the call.
Okay, I'm glad you're back. We're still recording, it says.
Yes. Wait, I didn't go anywhere though. You're the one that went somewhere.
You went somewhere. I was sitting here like, Shannon.
I didn't. I was still here. I was still here, and it said that you dropped, and it said I was the host of the call now. So I was confused.
Okay. Well, all right. That was very strange. That's what I was saying. So I can't prove that the world is round. I can't prove that the Holocaust happened. But what I was saying before you disappeared. Those are clear cases where.
Okay, continue. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, those are clear cases where I can tell this is disinformation. But what happens where the line isn't so clear? For example, Jeffrey Epstein's death.
Yes.
Historically speaking, the accurate statement is Jeffrey Epstein committed suicide in his cell. Now, mm-hmm. I don't believe that's true. Mm-hmm. I believe the circumstances around his death are extremely suspicious.
Yes.
I believe he was killed. I don't believe he killed himself. Either he was killed or people knew he wanted to kill himself, and so they purposely created the proper space around him to allow him to kill himself. One of the two. Mm-hmm. If I post that on Facebook, technically speaking, Shannon, that is disinformation.
Yes, technically.
See what I'm saying?
But I mean, I guess, but still.
But still.
Actually, the point that I'm trying to make is getting away from you right now. That's an accurate point.
Look, I know what you was going to say. You were going to side with big tech and say that they should try to limit disinformation. But what you didn't expect is that Jabia would hit you with a phenomenal point. Right? Be honest. You didn't expect that. You didn't expect that point that I pulled out to you. I'm just saying.
Maybe.
Do we want big tech to be out there telling us what's true and what's not true? Given the situation I just laid out.
I mean, no. Because I mean, I get it. Like, it's not going to stop there. It's probably if they're starting with those things, they'll probably move eventually to limit more things, and then
it always grows.
Borderline censorship. It's censorship. So I guess people should be allowed to put out whatever, and then people should be smart enough to determine whether or not these things are true.
Now, here's the thing:
decide that for themselves.
It is extremely difficult, and I will admit this. It is extremely difficult in 2020 to decipher what is true and what is not true for certain things. I know the world is round.
For certain things, yes.
I know the Holocaust existed. I know, mm-hmm. But certain things are hard for me to decipher if this is real news, fake news, is this being spun to fit a certain narrative.
Like what?
For example, the pay gap is not real.
Okay.
It's not real. Now, I know that hurts you, Shannon, to realize something you believe is just a farce. It's not real as laid out. If me and you worked at a store at Staples, it is an untrue statement that I would make more money than you because I have a penis. That is not going on. What is happening, Shannon, is they are taking all of the money men make, comparing it to all the money women make, and they're saying men as a group make more money than women as a group. So there's a pay gap. Be honest. You don't think that is intellectually dishonest to present pay gap that way?
Wait, no. I do think that is dishonest. Yes.
But they do it
to present it as an average. Yes. Mm-hmm.
Why?
I don't know. That's
you know question. Why, Shannon?
No.
They want Shannon and her people to vote for them in the elections. And so what they do is they stir the pot. Look, they do the same thing with race. There are a bunch of issues where people of every political party and group, they manipulate information, twist it, present it in a dishonest fashion to get people to do things they want them to do. And so I consider that, Shannon, to be disinformation. Police brutality. Do I believe police are out of control? Yes, I do. Mm-hmm. That said, Shannon, I told you this before I asked you. Don't you think it's weird that they never show any of the countless white people that are shot?
Yes, it is a little weird.
It's on purpose. Mm-hmm. And this is not some big, Illuminati thing. There's a reasonable explanation for this. The big tech companies, they believe, I think some of them believe that they are doing the right thing by limiting disinformation. They think that they are kind of like superheroes to a certain degree. They are arbiters of truth. They are trying to protect us from being misled. The problem is every dictator, every king, they all end up, becoming corrupt by doing the same thing. The road to hell is paved with good intentions. And so while I might think that these institutions have the greatest of intentions, Shannon, it is a mistake to believe that you and you alone can tell the public what is true and what is untrue, especially when I just laid out a couple of examples where things that are believed by the masses are actually untrue when you examine them under magnifying glass. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So we have a problem now. Yeah. I admit it's hard to tell what's true and fake, but I also don't trust these big tech companies to be the ones deciding what is true or untrue.
Yeah.
And so I think the only thing you can do is let everyone post and speak about whatever they want to post and speak about.
That's what I said.
No, I agree with you, but that's not what you was thinking when we first started this, Shannon. I'm trying to lie to the public. All right. I know you was on the side of the big tech.
No, what do you mean? I'm just, I mean, I understand the merit in wanting to limit the spread of misinformation, especially in this climate where mm-hmm. things are easily absorbed by people that have mushy brains. Mm-hmm. But yes, I understand. That's what I'm saying. Like, it is considered censorship. And in a way, it shouldn't happen. It should be left up to people to consume things and be smart enough to do their research and decide if it's true or untrue. Yes.
But what do you believe, Shannon, about my larger point, which is we do have a problem. Like, I'm not one of those sitting here saying that there's no problem. There's a big problem. People cannot just tell the difference between true and untrue. I'm not arrogant, but I believe I'm smarter than most people I know. Right? Mm-hmm. So if I can't tell the difference between certain information, what's true and what's untrue, I know for a fact that they can't tell. So we have a serious situation that I don't know how to solve.
I mean, yes, I understand that, but you shouldn't be turning to social media for your all knowledge. You know what I mean? So I'm just saying that
you agree there, but don't. Yeah. But Shannon, even the information you get from news is.
Well, yeah, I know that, but I don't really. That's what I'm saying. But
so where do we go, Shannon?
I don't know. I don't know.
Where am I supposed to go for some facts?
The library.
Not about current events.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
like,
That's true.
like
I don't know.
how am I supposed to tell what is true, what is untrue, what is real, what is not real? These are the issues that no one talks about, and our media has such a hard on for Trump that they, they don't care to wade into these waters at all. Partly because they themselves push misinformation and disinformation all the time. They do it. Trump is the worst. They are right behind him, though. They think they're better than Trump. They are Trump. They are a much neater package, but they are the same as Trump. They spit out news stories and information that is untrue for clicks, for advertisement dollars, because once again, they need high ratings so that they can get ads. That's how they make their money. So they're just like Trump. And so I'm looking around at a world where, Shannon, I don't know what's real.
Yeah. Well, this is part of my larger point that the world is a scary place and going to shit. So I don't really even know how to solve that problem.
Yeah. And on top of that, the fact that I've been terrified ever since I saw The Social Dilemma, and you realize that we're not even getting the same Google search results.
No, we're
so
not.
I can Google
that
one
is very
thing,
scary.
Shannon can Google something else, and we get two totally different, results.
We should test that out right now. Is that going to impede on time? How long have we been recording so far?
47 minutes.
Okay, we have a little bit of time. Let's test this out.
Hold on, let me go to Google. All right, what are we Googling?
Oh shoot, hold on, give me 1 second. I don't know. What do you want to Google? You give me the sentence.
Let's Google why are black men.
Why are black men? Okay.
And let's see what it visits us.
What do you get? What did you get? I only got one thing.
Me too.
What'd you get?
I got why are black men's eyes red?
Oh, I got the same thing. Okay. But that might be a proximity thing because it said in the social dilemma that it's a proximity thing.
Okay, so let's Google I don't know.
Why is the sky? Do that.
Okay, why is the sky?
Okay, so my top 3 were why is the sky blue? Why is the sky blue for kids? Why is the sky pink? Why is the sky red?
Same thing.
Oh.
Yeah.
Maybe it is the proximity thing.
It could be, yeah, because me and you are, so in The Social Dilemma, for those of you that haven't watched it, you should watch it. Basically, depending on where you are in the country, you get different results. So me and me and Shannon, we're both in the same state, obviously, a blue state. So we're not getting into those crazy results. And we live not near each other, but close enough. And so it's kind of reasonable that our Google search results will be the same. But it's still scary for me that people somewhere else in the country can Google one thing, I can Google another thing, or the exact same thing, and we get 2 different results.
Yep.
And I don't know how we're supposed to combat this, because these giant tech companies they have more power than the government. If I ask you, Shannon, who's more powerful, the federal government or Google? What would you say?
I feel impartial to speak about this. Probably Google, though.
Why would you feel impartial?
Because we don't have to talk about this now. But I would say probably Google. Yeah.
I agree. I think Google is more powerful than the government. That's terrifying.
Yep.
It should scare all of us, because when the founders wrote this Constitution and founded this country, they could have never imagined in a million years there would be an entity created in the private sector that would have more power over the lives of citizens than the actual federal government. So how are we supposed to navigate this? I have no idea. I just know it needs to be done, and it needs to be done quickly. And everyone who is celebrating or applauding Facebook for taking a stand against disinformation about the Holocaust, they always start with something that we can universally be upset at. Whenever
it'll lead to something else.
Whenever they roll out some new technology or some new laws or whatever, it's always framed in a way in which you would be ostracized to be on the other side of whatever the issue is, right? Patriot Act, perfect example. 9/11 happens, federal government, they pass the Patriot Act, which gives the government, permission to spy on citizens and whatnot. If you were post 9/11 against the Patriot Act, Shannon, you were viewed as being anti-American.
Mm-hmm.
You weren't allowed to ask questions. You weren't allowed to write up ads in certain newspapers pushing back. And so we all kind of sat on our hands and allowed legally for the government to wiretap and spy on us and do a whole bunch of things that previously they would have needed a warrant to do on citizens.
Yeah.
And so the same thing's happening here. Of course, we all agree that the Holocaust exists. And if you are denying that it happened, you need to go back to school. But that's not the point. The point is, it never stays on the thing that it is, it starts from. Facebook starts censoring on behalf of the Holocaust. Next thing you know, they're censoring because the government says, hey, Facebook, we have some information that's is out there, and we don't want to panic the public. So can you, pull that back?
Yeah, I agree. Censorship. Censorship is a scary thing when people are controlling it. Yes,
it's maddening, Shannon. It's absolutely maddening. Okay, so I think we have time for one more story. I'm going to hit. I mean, it's.
Oh yeah, I guess we did promise to keep it all to an hour. You're right.
Yeah, your club side story. You know what? Here's the thing about Shannon's club side story. Here's the thing about Shannon's club side.
But if you edit out the part where
that's
you froze for like 5 minutes.
That was like 2 minutes, Shannon. 2 minutes. Shannon. Here's the thing about Shannon's club story that she's not telling you guys. So Shannon likes to pretend like she has it all together, and
I don't
she's like, she puts on a good front. People can tell my life's in shambles, but Shannon, she does a good job at looking all together. But Shannon is lonely as hell, right? So
No, I'm not.
Shannon is dying to get back around some people.
No, right? First of all, can I say something? I don't even like going to the club. So there you go. No, I don't.
No, I know. That's my point. My point is, you are so lonely that you are contemplating going to a club.
I'm not. I was never contemplating going to a club. When did I say that? And I go to the club. I just don't enjoy going that often. But I'm not lonely. Thank you, sir, for trying to guess. But I'm not.
All right, all right.
Thank you.
Okay.
I'm not.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I can't wait for that mental health.
I don't think that you should be putting that out there.
You think I'm projecting?
Yes. I'm not that you're projecting. I just think that you're trying to project an image about me to the audience that is not true. I'm not.
Oh, so wait. She's saying I'm responsible for disinformation. All right, Shannon. Okay. But look, we have a couple minutes left. We should end this on the 10-year-old shot in Chicago.
Oh, really? Do we have to? That's so sad.
Yeah, because there's a larger point that needs to be made here. So, in the Chicago Sun-Times, there's a $25,000 reward for information in regarding the shooting of a girl 10 years old in the South Side of Chicago. They put 4 holes in her mother said. And, all these articles are going to be linked in the show notes. And all of you need to read them. Mm-hmm. The young girl's name is Lamaya Sparks, and she is among at least 30 children shot this year in Chicago. Now, you might be asking, why am I doing this story? I get very, very distressed whenever I come across stories like this, because this happens significantly more than the stories that make it to the news, right?
Yeah.
So I'm not going to fight with people about police brutality. I'm not going to fight with you about how big of a problem it is. Whatever you believe about it, it's perfectly fine. My point, though, is whatever you believe about it, this story here happens significantly more than the George Floyd situations or the Ahmaud Arbery situations. This girl here and the 30 other kids, Shannon, so my kids, that were shot. That happens significantly more to us than the white police officer that shoots us down, or the white neighbors that chase us in a pickup truck, like that happened with Ahmaud Arbery. But these stories never get any attention. And it makes me upset because it's almost as if we collectively as a community have like a fuck 'em attitude if a white person didn't kill him. If a white person kills Shannon, she's going to be all over CNN. If I killed Shannon, just another,
yes.
another domestic abuse situation or whatever they would say. You instantly, Shannon, wouldn't matter to anybody if I killed you, but you would matter to the world if some police officer shot you.
Yes.
I don't understand why that's the case. It makes me upset, but we need to bring stories like this to the light because I can't be complaining about the media, and then when we start our own, Black podcast, we don't bring it up.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's why I wanted to bring it up, because Lamaya Sparks' life matters.
Yes.
I hate the Black Lives Matter movement, but if you're going to be out there screaming Black Lives Matter, to me, it is insane to focus on the minority of lives that are lost at the hands of the state and ignore the majority of Black lives that are lost within the community.
Yeah.
I don't understand it. And these are kids. These are kids.
I know.
They haven't grown.
No. I agree with you. I don't hate the Black Lives Matter movement like Jabia does, but
Yeah,
I do but I am very aware that crime in the Black community also needs to be addressed. It is very large and it is very prominent, and it does happen very, very often, and we don't talk about it enough. And people don't see that as an issue, and I don't understand why that is either, to be honest.
You know what the thing is, Shannon? What's really bothering me? Children are the innocent.
Mm-hmm.
They have no enemies. They have a lot of friends because they don't know any better. They think everyone's different, but they're children.
Mm-hmm.
Children are supposed to be allowed to grow into adults.
Yep.
And then, as once they become adults, Shannon, who knows what they could do, right?
Mm-hmm.
Who knows what Lamaya Sparks would have been?
Well, she's not dead.
No, totally right. Absolutely right. Lamaya Sparks, she is in the ICU.
Mm-hmm.
She is. Thank God for correcting me, Shannon. I don't want to speak that on anybody. She's alive.
Mm-hmm.
I was thinking about the other 30 children that were shot.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, ICU. Lamaya Sparks shouldn't be in the ICU.
Yes.
Every time one of these young Black children gets shot, whether they're killed or severely paralyzed, you don't know who you're taking out. Like, they could have become the person that would have created some cure for some disease, or been the person that created a new company that would have created thousands of jobs that Black communities could have used. I just don't understand why we don't give a fuck.
Yeah, I honestly don't understand either. And I'm a person, so when I scroll through Facebook comments a lot, like under news articles,
Mm-hmm.
and when I see, so I see a lot of white people all the time, and sometimes they say really ignorant things, but sometimes a lot, I have seen this argument come up a lot, like, oh, Black lives don't matter to Black people. And people get mad when they say this, but I'm just like, that's, I'm like, it's kind of true. Like, it's kind of true. And, I feel like if we want to be taken seriously, I feel like we need to focus in our own community first, because this is a problem that's been happening for so long, violence in our community, and that needs to be addressed.
You are significantly more likely to die at the hands of another Black person than you are at the hands of a white person. Now, that's true of every community. Here's the difference, though. They never tell you this. So you have the people on the right that so Shannon will say Black Lives Matter. Somebody on the right will say, okay, well, how come you never talk about Black on Black crime? Then somebody on Shannon's side of the aisle usually says, every community is killed by other members of their community, which is true. What they don't tell you after that, though, is African American males are the only demographic in the country, Shannon, that between the ages of like, I don't know, I think it's like 13 and between 13 and I think 30 or 39, our leading cause of death is homicide. Only demographic in the country. That's not true for Latinos, not true for whites, not true for Asians. It is only African Americans and males where our leading cause of death before like 39 or something like that is homicide. That's an issue. It's an issue we don't address. My guess, we don't address it because it's us that is the enemy.
Yeah.
Right. So it's easy to talk about, racism and the white supremacy and all of that stuff because you're not the enemy. It has nothing to do with you. Are the perpetual victim. But it takes a different level of nuance and navigation and putting your emotions aside to have a conversation about crime within the community, because then you're talking about people that you actually want to help. And so how do you address the violence within your community when it's being perpetuated by certain black people, usually black men? Let's be honest here. We're talking about black men usually in gangs that contribute to the high crime areas in Baltimore, Chicago, St. Louis, Oakland, Brooklyn, Brownsville. Like, we know what the problem is, but there's no will from the community on scale, because you absolutely have specific organizations and churches, and I don't want to downgrade or dismiss those people. But I'm talking about, we have a will on a large scale to get rid of police brutality. I don't feel like we have any will on a large scale, Shannon, to tackle community violence, which takes way more black lives. And I want to end this show speaking about Lamaya Sparks, because I'm happy she's alive, but I'm very saddened that what happened to her. And nobody's going to, you're not going to see the story on CNN or MSNBC or Fox, because it's not salacious. It's not a white person killing a black person. So they're not going to get no ads. But damn it, Lamaya Sparks' life matters to me, just like all those other people. So I just want to lay that out there, to put that out there. I hope she survives. I'm praying for her and her mother. Yeah, and that's all I have to say.
Yep. I can't even say anything. It's very true. It's very true. And it's very sad, actually. So yeah.
Yeah. So look, that's our hour today. Hour and 4 minutes, but I think once we cut out that little weird part, it'll be an hour.
And actually cut it out, because you be leaving a lot of the mistakes in here, Jabia.
No, I don't.
I don't know if yes, you do.
What mistakes I leave in?
Last week you left in. Remember when I had to stop because I thought I heard people talking outside my door? You left
that was on purpose.
Why though? Why do you leave it there?
It was funny. You like Shannon went like this.
It's only funny if you're watching it though, not if you're listening to it. You're kind of just
that I should have remembered. You're right. It's a different experience in the audio, but yeah, I'm definitely gonna not forget this one. It's an hour. Yeah. So this was an interesting experience. I'm iffy on this.
Iffy on what?
The hour.
Oh, I mean, it could be longer than an hour sometimes.
I'm iffy.
If there's a lot to talk about, I just don't think that it needs to be 2 hours of current events.
No, I totally get it. So, like I said, we're going to do the hour, see what the response is, things of that nature. Yeah. But thank you, Shannon, once again for joining me.
No problem. It is my job to join you. What do you mean?
You're right. I have to get into the mind that you're my coach. You know what? I just keep having these dreams that Shannon's going to run away. And by the way, those are the dreams that I have about Shannon. So I just assume that one day I'm going to text her. I'll get a response.
No, never, Jabia. Anyway, join us Join us on Monday for our discussion episode. I'm excited to talk about this.
I forgot what we're talking about again. What's it? Therapy?
We're going to talk about how therapy is stigmatized in the Black community. Yes.
Oh, yes. I'm going to lay out. No, that's her position. I'm going to lay out why I think therapy might be the biggest con game run on man since.
You sound like my father, by the way, because I talked to him about this yesterday.
Your father's a smart man.
Similar thing, but he's also
man.
wrong. No.
He's not wrong. So her position is going to be how, what, you said Black people don't value therapy?
Not all Black people, but I just want to talk about how it's stigmatized in the community and like how people view it. Certain people. Yes. Okay.
So that's Shannon's point of view. Mm-hmm. My point of view is going to be how therapy is the biggest con job since condoms. Right. So stay there.
What?
Stay.
Okay.
It's true, Shannon.
Okay.
I'm not saying, wait, time out. I'm not saying condoms don't work. I'm not saying condoms aren't necessary. But what I'm saying, though, is condoms have been sold to the public as a solution of certain problems where the solution doesn't actually solve anything. You don't find it strange, Shannon? We haven't cured a single one of these STDs. You know why? Because we have condoms.
Oh, okay.
There's no incentive to cure these things. Mm-hmm. The same way, there's no incentive to look deeper at the reason so many people go to therapy. We just tell them, go to therapy. Spend your money, pay this person to talk to you for an hour. But we don't actually think about, okay, why are so many Americans anxious, depressed? That's what we need to do. So I'm excited for Monday. I'm going to bring the heat. I'm probably going to get canceled, but but it should be a very, very interesting discussion between myself and Shannon.
Yes.
So we will see you on Monday. All of our information is going to be in the show notes where you can find us to follow us and get in contact with us, all that good stuff. Until next time, guys, deuces.
Bye, guys.